What's up, DNA STRAND CREW? The NFL is back, baby. And me and the guys here can't be more excited for it. It's crazy to think that season's already upon us, but what's even more crazy is what our friends over at Underdog Fantasy are currently doing right now to help celebrate the NFL's return. Underdog has some really insane stuff going on right now on their current promo calendar that you see on the screen. The biggest being the Travis Kelce free pick they have up and rolling right now for the first game of the season this Thursday night. But that's just the start. The Kelce free pick is just one of many great promos Underdog will be running for week 1 of the NFL season. If you are a football fan, you have to go over to Underdog to take advantage of all these awesome promos. It's unlike anything else out there right now, and it isn't even close. And if you're a first-time user with Underdog, make sure to use the promo code DNA. The link to Underdog and all these great promos will be in the description of this video. I hope to see you over there to help celebrate the return of the NFL football season with me and the rest of the guys here with the Dynasty DNA team. Hey, DNA Strand Crew, the NFL season's right around the corner. We wanted to come at you and give you a quick little video of 6 non-flashy rookies who's coming in under the radar, who we feel can give you instant production in 2024. Let's hop into it. All right, the first guy we're going to talk about is a guy that we really like through the film process. Second-round pick by the New England Patriots is going to be Jalen Polk. He was someone that wasn't getting a lot of buzz from a lot of people in the community before the draft. After the draft, he's someone that me and Andy particularly really liked on film. Got the capital second-round pick for the Patriots. But we're talking instant impact here for 2024, and I think Jalen Polk can provide it. Starting off, all I got to say is look at the New England Patriot wide receiver depth chart. There's nothing special there. They got a guy like Pop Douglas who's okay. They got KJ Osborne, who's basically a third receiver in Minnesota, never surpassed that. So opportunities are abode here for Jalen Polk, and he has a chance to make an instant impact this year. He is a little bit more polished for being a young guy. Really good route runner. Real methodical. I just see him getting out on the field early. They do have Javon Baker there as well. He's another player we like, but he's a little bit more of a raw player. I do think he's going to be a good player down the road. But as of this season, I think Jalen Polk has a really good chance to make a lot of noise out of this New England Patriot wide receiver room, and I think he's going to get opportunities. We talked about, too, what he did in the preseason and training camp. He's getting all kinds of buzz from coaches and media, so you can't base everything off that. You can't put all your eggs in that basket, but it is a good sign when a young player is producing in those situations. So let's go over here to the number 2 player on this list. It's going to be one of my personal favorites. If you listen to the Dynasty DNA podcast, Brian Thomas Jr. coming in here to the Jacksonville Jaguars. His big playability, guys, he could produce big fantasy weeks any time of the year this year. He could be a little bit more hit or miss off that just because he's a young guy, a little raw too. But you got to think, Gabe Davis is the only guy that's ahead of Brian Thomas right now. Of course, they got Christian Kirk. I don't see him really beating out Christian Kirk for high-end snaps right away. Maybe towards the end of the season if he's really, really putting up numbers. But I still think that's a stretch. But I do think he has a good chance to overtake Gabe Davis fairly quickly here. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's really good in the red zone. Big, strong, fast guy. What a good pick by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Trevor Lawrence has never had a receiver like this. I said this on the Dynasty DNA podcast. If you go back and watch Trevor Lawrence in college, he likes to launch the ball downfield to big wide receivers. This is the first guy that can give him the opportunity to do that. And I'm excited to see what they can do. We know Gabe Davis is a guy that historically has not stayed healthy. That could open the door for Brian Thomas really, really quickly. And again, love the film process. He was my slam dunk number 4 wide receiver coming out of this class, and he's somebody that I don't think is getting a lot of love. And I think for me, if I'm talking instant impact players, he's someone to keep an eye on. He's a down the field threat, and big plays is what we want. And I think he can provide it, and I think we're going to see some nice plays out of him in 2024. Let's go to the number 3 guy here on the list, and it's going to be Blake Corum, running back, Los Angeles Rams. And I'll give Andy a shout out on this. He was all over this, saying that the Rams were going to pick a running back, and they did. And, we're hearing that Blake Corum is going to be used, and I think he will. As far as high-end running back 1 production, you're not going to see it out of Blake Corum this year. But I do think there are going to be games that you could stream him, and he's going to put up points because I feel like Sean McVay is going to want to run 2 backs. I think that's what they want to do with the Rams. Kyron was getting run into the dirt last year. So there's a good chance, that there's going to be some games that Blake Corum's going to put up some solid numbers. And I think we could see that. He's a guy that's very, very polished coming out of college, played a ton of football. So he's NFL ready. So he isn't going to be like someone that's not going to be out on the field. He's reliable. He's going to hold on to the football. And I think that's all going to get him opportunities and get him on the field quicker. So if you're running back needy, if he's someone you can get in, plug and play situations, he might not be a bad option for 2024. And honestly, I think beyond, he's going to get more opportunities from the Rams. So he's someone that I like to have stashed, and he's someone I'm looking to add to my team. So I would look into Blake Corum. I think he's going to have a good year this year. Don't think he's going to set the world on fire, but I do think he's going to offer you some instant fantasy impact. Let's go over here to the number 4 guy on this list. It's going to be Jermaine Burton, wide receiver, Cincinnati Bengals. He's joining this high-flying offense. Joe Burrow can throw it all over the place. We've seen him be able to take care of multiple guys before, so he can feed all these guys. I don't think Burton's going to be a guy that's going to put up huge numbers every week, but he has the opportunity to make splashes for sure this season. We look at just some of the facts here. Tyler Boyd leaves the Bengals, goes to the Titans. He vacates 67 targets in this offense. So there are some free targets to go around. We know Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are kind of squawking around about the contract situations. I don't ever have a warm, fuzzy feeling about that going into the season if I have those type players. So, I mean, there's a chance that, with everything going on in Cincinnati, we could see Burton being more involved quickly. I mean, how committed is T. Higgins going to be specifically? It's going to be interesting to see. So, Jermaine Burton is a guy that I could see definitely being kind of more of a boom bust player this year, maybe a little bit better even in best ball. But at the same time, he's going to put up some big games, I feel, here in 2024 in this offense, because I feel that there are opportunities here. And you look at it, man, the tight end situation with Mike Gesicki, it's okay. The running back situation's kind of a mess. So they're really going to lean on these receivers, Cincinnati, to help them try to make some plays and win some games. So give me some Jermaine Burton. I think he's going to be involved heavily here in 2024 at some points. Let's go over here to the number 5 player on the list. What would it be without a quarterback? We got to get one in here. Bo Nix coming in here for the Denver Broncos. We heard Sean Payton already announced him the starter. He's going to be playing week 1. That's an important thing. There's going to be a couple guys that aren't playing. So outside of Caleb Williams, that's the obvious one. We know Caleb and Jaden Daniels. I mean, them guys are at the top of the board. They're going to definitely produce and give you production, but this is a little bit more of a low-key episode. So, Bo Nix, low-key, I like it. I like Sean Payton. I trust Sean Payton. What we've seen out of training camp and preseason from Bo Nix, he's been very, very solid. And you take into account, man, that this division isn't that good. The Chargers, the Raiders, defensively, that could give him some opportunities to produce some decent fantasy weeks. And playing the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs are a really good team for sure. And if they drop a lot of points on Denver, Denver's going to have to throw to keep pace and try to get points there too. So I kind of like this situation for Bo Nix, low key, sneakily. And I mean, just the fact that outside of Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, he's the only one named the starter. So I mean, you got to take that into account, and I think that he is going to have a decent season this year, and he's somebody that I would look to add if I was quarterback needy, if he's available in any type of league format. You could offer you a little bit of production if you need a backup. I think that this will be a guy that could win you a game or two if you really needed it. Finally, the last one here, number 6, Ladd McConkey, wide receiver, Los Angeles Chargers. There are targets all over the place in this offense that are to be had. 188 to be exact, with the departures of Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler. The ball's going to go somewhere, guys, and we are big Ladd McConkey fans on the show. He was my 5th receiver. I believe he was Andy's 4th receiver. We all had him up our time muscles. He was high in our rankings. Really like this player. He's going to see a lot of volume. I mean, that's the thing with Ladd McConkey this year. He's going to see a ton of volume, and he isn't the sexy player, right? Like we talk about Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas, Rome Odunze. He isn't really that sexy compared to them type players, but he's going to get the job done. And he's going to see a lot of volume this year, man, because in the Chargers offense, outside of him, what do you have? Joshua Palmer, Quentin Johnston. I mean, give me a piece of this Chargers offense, low-key, sneakily. They're one of my favorite teams that I'm drafting off of late in drafts because, no one's they just think they're going to be average, and they definitely are from an NFL standpoint. But at the same time, Jim Harbaugh is going to get this ship righted. As far as producing fantasy numbers, I think that we're going to see a little bit better out of the Chargers than what people expect. I think they're going to put up some points. They're going to be a sneaky, decent team this year. And Lad McConkey's someone to me that I could see getting a lot of targets, and give me a wide receiver that's tied to Justin Herbert, someone that can really throw the ball around and give him them opportunities. But this is going to do it for this little YouTube video, guys. Hope that you guys have fun headed into the season here. Good luck, and we will be bringing you more of these as we go along. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will talk to you soon.